Greetings and salutations, family. It's Dr. Eric D. Harris, PhD, here with you today. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time out to join me. Today, we're going to get into the topic of not allowing your current circle to define your ceiling. Growth doesn't happen in a comfort zone. It doesn't happen in a dungeon or a place that is tucked away. Breakthroughs don't emerge from echo chambers or places that are hidden from light. And your potential, that's the key, should never be limited by the circle or the people that you come into contact with or the people who are closest to you now, right at this moment. Yet too far often we find ourselves in a circle, or your current circle perhaps, of friends, of colleagues and family, to not subtly state, but they define a sense of boundaries in believing what is possible or impossible for you to achieve. We look around at the attitudes of the circle, the ambition, the achievements, those daily orbits that we inhabit on an everyday basis. And we unconsciously begin to calibrate to that orbit, whether that orbit is low or whether that orbit is relatively high. And our dreams, in many instances, begin to match the scale or the gravity or oxygen in that particular space. So when the circle begins to settle, you settle. You really do. So when they have a sense of doubt, you begin to start to question the same things that they have doubt about. And worst of all, you develop a sense of groupthink or sheep mentality. So if they can't imagine specific things, if they can't imagine your greatness or your potential that you may have to begin with, they're not going to believe in it. And you're not going to reach for that as well. So you have to believe in that. So here's a little element of truth here. Your circle does not have to determine your tomorrow. Your circle does not have to determine your today. But there is a sense of power and peril in proximity or closeness. We are deeply influenced by the people that we spend time with, the people that we come into contact with, or many of the things that we listen to. Science substantiates and confirms that. Those habits, the mindset, even the level of ambition that we have is often contagious within the confines of those who we have connectivity with. You are the average sum of the 5 individuals that you may have a relationship with that are tied to your circle. So that may sound like an oversimplification, but believe it or not, that principle does hold weight. So if your circle consistently complains about things, about money, and things are not this way or that way, and they're never taking action, you begin to internalize the scarcity that they have developed because they put that on the entire group. If they mock large goals or big goals as seen as something as unrealistic that you may have internalized, you begin to label your own dreams as something that is unachievable or unattainable, and you put them on the wayside or the shelf. So you don't move in a space where you are engaged in the process of saying, I have to risk specific things in order to do things that I know that I want to achieve. You begin to internalize a sense of scarcity and fear. So this isn't about blaming or abandoning those people that we come into contact with, or those individuals who are in our lives. Many of them care about you deeply, but not all care comes with vision. That has to be understood. Love doesn't always come with growth. And most importantly, love doesn't come with a growth mindset. So it's important to move in a space where we seek to attain common elevation. And common elevation does not automatically come. So we have to level up the spaces of our environments. To rise, you must be intentional about your environment. You must scan that environment, evaluate that environment, research that environment, and then you must engage in the process of curating your circle to reach those specific goals that you have that will enhance your environment. It's not about ego. It's not about arrogance. It is about respect for what you have, respect for you, and respect for the power and the potential that you have within your particular space. So start asking yourself these particular questions. Who inspires me to think bigger, magnanimously, largely? Who challenges my daily assumptions instead of reinforcing them? Some people, well, this is what we're going to do and this, that, and the other, and there's no pushback. You have to be challenged and you have to think, most importantly. And who celebrates your growth, not just your stagnation and your comfort on a day-to-day basis? So it's important for us to seek out mentors, to go to specific events, to where we can increase our circle and engage in the process to where we are moving in a positive direction. You know, it's important to read things. It's important to listen to things, to break particular molds. It's important to hitch our wagon to ask specific questions of those in spaces that we want to be in. And above all, stop measuring your progress by the yardstick of the complacement of other individuals. You don't want to do that because that creates stagnation and you begin to put your ability on the shelf. So what must we do? We must protect the visions that we have. You know, it's not going to be easy to aspire to be more and aspire to do more. And some in your circle may feel threatened in many instances, and they will be. This is how they respond, and you know, in those particular spaces. And so there will be skepticism, there will be anger, there will be fear, there will be guilt tripping, there will be instances in which they say you're changing. Of course, you're changing, you're growing, and you're developing, and you're not the same anymore. So be prepared for that. But you must understand that growth requires change. It's like peanut butter and jelly, and change often makes individuals feel uneasy, especially when they're stagnant and they're going nowhere. Most importantly, when they don't have a plan to get there. So you must understand that you cannot allow that to stop you because they aren't changing themselves. You must protect your vision at all costs as though your future depends on it. And truthfully, it does, and your future self will thank you for that. Because you don't have to you must understand that you don't have to cut people out cold. You don't have to do that. But you must create spaces where you allow new influences to create a new sensibility and balance in your life for fresh perspectives and much, much bolder, grander possibilities. You know, you were born for much, much more. Your potential is not determined by your zip code. It's not determined by your current job or the opinions of those individuals who are around you in the peanut gallery. It's shaped by your choices each and every day, especially the choice of individuals or power or prowess that you allow yourself to speak into your life. You know, dreams don't die because they're impossible. They die because they're mocked. They're minimized, and there is no sense of belief and dedication. So step into the spaces that you want to be in and affirm that sense of greatness. Associate with those individuals who operate at a higher frequency. There's a higher level, and that's where you want to be. And you need to be connected with those individuals who inhabit those spaces. Be a light for others. Attach yourselves to those that have that special light. There's certain people who are tremendously talented, and you need to dialogue with those individuals and never dim your light to fit in. Your ceiling isn't set by your current circle. It's set by you and no one else. Now go out and expand that circle. Dr. Eric D. Harris, PhD. Be well. Peace.